You done now?
And he joins me right now, one of the members of Judgment Day. Damien Priest is here. Damien, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, man. Well, first of all, look at the suit game. Suit game's off the charts right now. Have you always been a debonair dresser?
Not always, but you can always learn something new, right? So these days, representing the company, representing the Judgment Day, I figured it's time to dapper up a little bit.
I like it. It suits you, no pun intended, I guess. We're here SummerSlam weekend, of course, Nashville, Tennessee. You have a big match coming up against the Mysterios, yourself, Finn Balor, Judgment Day. How do you feel about just being in there with not only Dominic, who's on his way up, but the legend that is Rey Mysterio?
Well, that's it, being in there with the legend, right? Around his 20th anniversary, SummerSlam in a stadium, talk about perfect timing. So for me, being there with another Hispanic, legend, and from someone like me who looked up to him and all he accomplished in representing our heritage, it's a big deal, because I get to do that now where I got fans thanking me for representing, and that doesn't happen without someone like Rey Mysterio, so it's special.
You had kind of back-to-back big WrestleMania moments, right? Going back to the match with Bad Bunny, which you want to talk about, guy who's worldwide known. Yeah. Has the song Booker T, and then here you coming out tagging with him. Then to this last WrestleMania, where you interject yourself in what was kind of the dream match for a lot of fans, right? Edge versus AJ Styles. When you got the call, I guess, when you got word that you're going to be aligning with Edge at WrestleMania, you seem to be somebody who really appreciates the history of this industry. Edge is a living legend. How did that make you feel?
Oh, it was insane. First of all, when Edge contacted me about the idea of the Judgment Day, and then we started going back and forth about, what is it going to be about? Who can we recruit and all of it? And then, hey, maybe next week we start, maybe the following week. And then it was like, you know what, let's start a Mania. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, that's where you do it. I'm somebody who's very in tune with what's happening. I know exactly how big this moment is, just like I know how big the moment is at SummerSlam being in the ring with Rey Mysterio, and I'm appreciative of it. So yeah, it was huge. All I did was come out there and stand by him and cause a little distraction, and I was just as nervous as I was the year before when I had to team with Bad Bunny. It's exciting, because I know how big of a moment that is, and we're talking about it. So that's all we want, is to do things that people don't forget and they speak about with these special moments. And WrestleMania, Edge, that's a moment.
It was incredible. Now, you say that you and Edge were going back and forth talking about Judgment Day, people who could be in it. Were there any names that were floated that we haven't seen join the collective you want to share with us?
There's a lot. We go across the board, for me, I was always big, let's get Drew McIntyre, let's see if we could recruit that guy. Unfortunately, he was on SmackDown, and then, that was my number one. Obviously, everybody knows my background with relationship with Riddle. So that was also there, but he was doing his thing with Randy, so you kind of let him be. But those were two of the first names that came to mind that we had talked about, and there were others, but, I think there's always room for, there's always spots, the Judgment Day is not necessarily a three-person thing, there's always room to grow now, so I don't want to say too many names because we might want to recruit them in the future. Right. So, but those are the main ones that came to mind at first.
Now, again, you're going into SummerSlam against the Mysterios. You had also a big moment just a few days ago, Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. Rey Mysterio celebrating 20 years in this industry. And, you kind of put a little, I don't know, say you rained on his parade? Is that how you could say it?
I had a great time at a celebration. I had
a phenomenal time.
Yeah, the best party, right? And again, the Garden, where I went to so many events as a kid, where I really developed a love for, I have to do this with my life. So going back there, working with somebody like Ray on his, anniversary party, it was a special night. And then, doing what I did is, again, creating a moment. And this is what it's about. And I really did have a great night.
Now, our main event at SummerSlam is World Championship, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, last man standing, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns. When you talk about guys who are physically imposing, those are the two guys that come to the top of the list in WWE, but yourself is included in that. You're one of the bigger guys on the roster. You stack up well against those. Say Brock Lesnar were to come out and say, I want to go one-on-one with Damien Priest. What could we see in a match like that?
Oh, some serious action, some blows, and we're going to throw some haymakers, like. So you adapt to your opponent, right? So I'm not going to wrestle or square up against someone like Brock or Roman the same way I would Rey Mysterio or, when I was against AJ Styles, Finn Balor. If you can see like the matches I had with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre himself and, guys like that. When I stepped to Bobby Lashley last year, there was a different intensity, because they're more physically imposing. So if I was to square up with them, yeah, it'd be one of those, where we're fighting. We're not wrestling, we're fighting, And,
I like it.
Yeah, and, hopefully one day they'll decide to do that because, as great as this match and everybody's looking forward to it, it's funny, neither one of them stepped in the ring with me.
Are they scared of the Judgment Day? Is that what you're saying? Are they scared of Damien Priest?
I don't think they're necessarily scared, but I don't know. Maybe there's something like, we don't need to go that way yet, and there may be a reason for that.
All right, well, there might be a reason for it, but we will find out what happens with Damien Priest on SummerSlam against the Mysterios, the Judgment Day. Really appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much.